besties, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be doing a full face of underpainting tutorial, which sounds very professional and intimidating, but I promise it's just putting your makeup on in the wrong order and hoping for the best, really. Underpainting is basically where you put your contour, blush and highlight on before your foundation. So like if you're out and about and people say, why does your skin look so good? You can just say it's a technique instead of just saying I don't know. This is going to be very detailed, so grab a snack and sit down and let's just aggressively blend together. First things first is skin prep, and if you skip this step then underpainting will expose you. Nah, I'm just kidding. Basically you just won't blend out as much and it won't melt into your skin as nice. I've already washed my face, but now I'm going to go in with these two products, and we need loads and loads of hydration because dry skin and cream products equals betrayal. We want to keep everything lightweight because we want it to melt into our face and not slide off like it is trying to escape. I just like to press this Glow Recipe toner in to the skin. I like to let it dry down on its own. I like to let it dry for a tiny bit, and then I like to go in with the moisturizer. I like to do it while it's still kind of wet, and I just do the same exact thing as I did with the toner. Just press it into the skin. I like to use these two products before skin prep. I just find that with these two I just don't need a lot of products just using these two. Now for the scary part, bronzer before foundation. And I promise this will look insane at first, but trust the process. I didn't trust it at first either, by the way. Using a liquid bronzer that's not too dark, because if you do go it too intense, your foundation will be like, absolutely not, you look too muddy. But I'm just going to place it on the cheekbones, the temples, the forehead, also the nose and the jawline, which I haven't got no jawline. I'm just going to keep blending it, tapping it where I place it. We're only going to blend it just so we get rid of those harsh lines. If you do feel like you need a little bit more, because obviously time we put foundation on, it will cover up. You just don't want to put too much so it looks muddy, if you know what I mean. This is where people will start to panic using blush. But I'm going to apply more than I normally do. And yes, I will look like I've run a marathon after this, but foundation will mute it down. So if you don't look like that by the end of it, then you probably didn't put enough on. The foundation over the blush will make it look like you're naturally flushed, like you drink water and go outside. I'm just going to blend it out like so. As you can see, it's very, very bright right now. But like I said, foundation will mute that down. Don't get too scared or anything like that. Do I look like I've run a marathon yet? This is the part now that everything makes sense, and that is foundation. And I'm going to take a light to medium coverage foundation, because if we use a full coverage foundation, just take everything away that we just done. I'm going to take some on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to slowly start putting it onto the face, and I'm just going to be pressing this in, not dragging it. We're going to be respectful to the underpainting as we work too hard for it just to be all smudged away. I'm just going to lightly press, not taking a heavy hand at all. And I'm just going to go around the perimeter first of that blush and contour. And then I'm just going to slowly start blending over the top of it, just light taps. Feel like you just need a little more, just place some right on the outer part of it, and then just blend like this, and then slowly go over that. We don't want to take everything away, but we do want to mute it down a bit, because we'll end up adding powder just to bring it back a bit later on. If you're doing this right now and you've accidentally took too much away, don't worry about it too much, as we can add a tiny bit of powder later. A little do go a long way with this foundation, so you don't need a lot of it. I've still got all that left on my hand, but you just gradually build it up to how much you want it to cover. What I do find really easier than what I've just done is if you blend the foundation out onto the brush on the back of your hand, so you can have it evenly blended out onto the bristles, and then tap over the skin. As you can see, I've just give that a nice blown out effect. and you can still see the blush peeking through, but it's not too intense. This is the skin up close. It just looks nice and soft, and it doesn't look cakey at all. I'm going to use my concealer, and this is the Hourglass one, and I'm only going to place it where I need it, and that is under the eyes and anywhere I want to brighten. I'm going to use this concealer. You don't need a lot of it because a little do go a long way. I'm just going to blend out the chin and the forehead first, as I like to build more coverage underneath the eyes. I just like to blend out the under eyes just using tapping motions. I'm going to make sure to get right under the eye. I do like to drag it down a bit like this. Just gives that like nice bright under eye look. You can go over then that concealer with a beauty blender just to make sure everything is nice and seamless. Now it's time to set the face, and I like to set underneath the eyes, to do the forehead, and basically just anywhere that tend to act up really, and by that I mean where you get oily. I'm not gonna set like the cheek area because I don't want to take the glow away. We still want to look fresh. We don't want to be powdered up like there's no other. If your blush or bronzer got a little bit shy, you can go back in a tiny bit just to emphasize it. We're just going to be enhancing what we did earlier. We're not going to be restarting the makeup routine. Just go in tiny, like a little dusting over that. This also acts like to set that like cream that we used earlier. I'm going to take the most tiniest bit of this blush, and I mean the most tiniest bit, like that dip that I just done, as this is pigmented as it is. Like, watch how like pigmented it is now. Just instantly gives that colour back. That dip I just done was literally, I wouldn't even call it a dip, I just literally tickled the brushes onto the powder. This, ready? Just that much. And it just gives off the most pigmented, perfect blush shade. I'm going to keep the eyes simple, and I'm just going to put some of that powder bronzer on that I just used, just to make the eye look more cohesive to the face. Right now the underpainting is the moment, and the eyes is just here to support us. So just keep everything simple. Really warm though, you can add a pop of shimmer in the center of the lid just so like the light can catch it, and it just makes your eyes look really pretty. Now it's time for mascara, and the way I like to do my mascara is basically tickle the top of the lashes just like this. I don't like to go straight in from the root. I like to go from the top of the lashes first. Make sure I place them where I want to place them. I like to let them dry for a tiny bit, like not like fully dry, but a little bit dry. I like to go back in and go to the root up, slowly move my brush upwards. You can tell, but it just gives that more like curled look and like more volume and length. Now it's time for the final touches, which is lip liner. I'm going to take like a brown lip liner. Sorry, I can't talk while doing lip liner. You could add the same blush that you used on your cheeks earlier to make that more look cohesive. But for me, I'm going to take just like a light pink lipstick, that into the center. So it gives off something like this. I forgot to add as well this setting spray. This will melt all the powders that we applied earlier and just melt all the makeup together. And this is the finished look. The skin does still look like skin, no harsh lines, no contour stripes, and no blush anxiety. I find underpainting is perfect if your contour always looks too strong, your blush always disappears, or simply you just love doing things the complicated way once you've learned it. If this tutorial helped you, then please give this video a like, as I know you've enjoyed it, and comment down below what else you would want to see from me. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!